Hey, how's it going, YouTube? This is your guy, Antoine, out here in nature a little bit. Just wanted to stop by, say hello, say I hope that your day is going great today. Mine's been pretty good, but just wanted to drop another video in this continued effort to address um, what I'm calling my journey. Um, that being my journey with prostate cancer, as well as just kind of taking an overall look at men's health, uh, and particularly looking at the health and wellness of Black men, of which, if you haven't noticed, I'm one. But again, I do have a certain interest and a peculiar interest in ensuring that Black men have the best chance possible. Beyond, obviously, me being a Black man, I have three Black sons, um, who I think will also benefit, from me sharing my journey, my walk. They've obviously been a part of that, but um, just having having and raising young Black men uh, is a particular challenge in this day and time. Um, and with all the things that are stacked against us, I just don't want um, health and wellness, well-being to be one of those things that, if preventable, we could avoid. So there are certain things that are inevitable, but prostate cancer is one of those things that, if caught in time, can definitely be managed, and in most cases, in an overwhelmingly large amount of cases, can be avoided, and are truly life-saving. Early detection is the key. And again, that's one of the things that we want to try to accomplish with this channel, is trying to just, get a feel for getting a comfort level with being able to share, especially as men. Um, we don't take advantage of opportunities to be able to share our stories, our challenges with each other, especially when it comes to something like prostate cancer, which does have its own set of stigmas attached. It's a taboo subject, if you will, with most men, due to the nature of what we're talking about, what we're dealing with. It is a disease that does affect the reproductive parts of our body, the ways in which it can have some effect on the ways in which we use the bathroom. So because of those type things, it's kind of a stay away from topic. So again, if we're ever to get to a point where we can move past this disease, is going to come from getting past and overcoming those preset stigmas that are in place, those taboos that we're too afraid to address. It just can't be the case if we expect to learn and grow, as I like to say. So that's where we are. But today, um, these videos are not designed to be Hollywood productions. So excuse me for the O's and the ums that I might say, the words I might misspeak. It's just a real delivery of kind of my feelings and my recap or account of my experience along this journey of prostate cancer. So that's a little bit about where we are to this point. One of the things I did want to talk about today was the moment, and I call it the moment. You know, different people refer to it as different things, but is that very moment that you get the news that you have cancer. Um, it, it's hard to explain it. You have to, kind of go through it to really experience what it does to you. But my account of that moment was surreal almost. I mean, to the point where up into those words, you have cancer, after that point, I really don't remember much about what was said, um, because my mind automatically went in 1,000 different directions. And none of them included hearing anything else the doctor in front of me had to say, honestly. And he recognized that at the time, and has done this for some time. So it was something that had a comfort level with, understanding that I wasn't going to retain much after hearing that. So to that point, we actually didn't discuss a whole lot, but we went ahead and set up a follow up visit to where my wife could come in, and definitely we could all kind of retain the information that was being disseminated. But you know, regardless of how much I retained, regardless of how much he held back, how much he released, once he delivered that news, and I became one of the number of persons that can say I have cancer. Um, my life changed, to say the least. But in that very moment, like I said, the emotions that I felt were all over the place. The thoughts were all over the place. They immediately went to everything other than me. I immediately jumped to down the road to, how was I going to do this? What was going to become of this? So a lot of things go through your mind. But again, just describing that moment, I'm just trying to tell you as plain as I can how it was to me. It's not everybody's experience, but it is mine. And that it nearly floored me. And cancer is something, if you've never dealt with it, you've heard stories about it, but nobody really has a good report to say, or a good account of their experience with cancer. So uh, you're in your carnal mind, you automatically go to the worst case scenarios, and how will you handle this? How will you navigate this? You start thinking about other people. I thought about my wife immediately, and my kids. How would they handle it? What would become of them? All of a sudden, I was wrapping them up into news I just got about me. So it was like I'm assigning doom and gloom to everybody, but it's to each his own. That's again just where I was in the moment. Not that it was right. I certainly like to think it was justified, because it was new to me, as it is to most people getting that news. So I wasn't really equipped to handle it. I didn't really know how to respond to that. Even the thought, or the detection that anything was possibly wrong or out of order, uh, kind of came as a surprise. So, uh, even it was still, when I got referred to a urologist, it was still like um, it was still kind of, we don't know what's going on type situation, but go get checked out. Certain markers are in place that we're not satisfied with, so let's go get it checked out. So that's what we did, and then just following suit. But again, everybody gets to that point where you say, or you hear, the words that are being said to you that you have cancer. Or in the reverse, we don't see any cancer. And that's a whole different story. But to hear those words that you do have cancer, like I said, that's what it did to me. So in that moment, that's kind of what was going through my head, was on my heart. There was a lot of emotion, if I'm very honest. There were tears, fears, all of that, all in that moment. And leaving, I can remember leaving that appointment. It was almost like I was in a dream, from the doctor's office back to my car. And I couldn't get to my car quick enough, honestly, to break down. It was, my appointment that day happened to be at the end of the day, so I may have been the last patient that was seen that day. But so there wasn't very many people there, not many cars in the parking lot, but there I was in the parking lot, and like I said, I couldn't get to the car quick enough before breaking down. And it was just me, my thoughts, and God at that point. So it was, after I got through the tears for a few minutes and tried to collect my thoughts a little bit, I just immediately went into prayer. That's the ultimate medication. So prayer is what we do, is what I do. So I immediately went into a state of just prayer, asking God for guidance, for clarity, all of those things. Asking for His help, for discernment. To be able to discern exactly what was being told to me, the advice I was getting. I asked for Him to just be a part of leading wherever my treatment went from there, and whatever that entailed, whatever doctors that He would be a part of, guiding all of that, choosing all that, putting the right people in my path, all those things. So, prayer was a huge part, has been from the beginning, and continually, and to this day, will be what I lean on. So again, it's hard to kind of sum it up into this big, grandiose scene, but it was just a moment, literally, where your life changes in a snap, of a finger. Just getting those words, and everything changed. So, the way I kind of view my life at this point is, subconsciously, it's from a standpoint of pre-diagnosis and post-diagnosis. There was a lot of things that went into the 50 plus years of pre-diagnosis, and certainly the post, the last 3 years or so, have been enough to fill 2 books. But, in looking back on it, it wasn't the preferred journey, but it was my journey. So I embraced that piece of it. I thank God for the outcomes to this point. And I give Him all the credit, all the praise, and all the glory. But I never would have written it this way. Never would have thought in a million years that I'd be sitting here, out here in a park, explaining to someone my experience with something like this. So, but we never really know God's plans. We just have to do our best to kind of follow His plan, recognize, utilizing that discernment, that prayer life, and recognizing his plan for our life, and then a submission to following his will. Uh, and that's, you know, simply what I had to do. Now, was that easy? No. Is it easy? No. I struggle every day with that, with trying to determine his plan versus my desires, my wants, what I think to be or perceive to be my needs. They often don't match or mesh. But again, utilizing that discernment, staying connected, staying prayed up enough to where I can communicate with him enough to know if I'm on the right path. Maybe I'm not. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes we butt heads, but God's cool like that. He can allow me to butt heads with him and stumble my own way, figure it out, and he'll allow me to come back tomorrow and he'll bless me all over again, just because he can. And that's the kind of God I serve, and hopefully you do too. But again, I won't hold you too long. But as we walk through this channel together, like I said, I want to use this as a platform, not to be on a high horse telling you how your journey has to go, but I want to be on a level playing field, especially with Black men, and let you know that we are not alone in this. In that moment that I just got through talking about, that is one of the loneliest places I've ever been in my life, because coming out of that, other than the medical staff, nobody around me knew anything about. Well, let me change that. Most people around me did not know about prostate cancer. The other part of the people around me knew about it, didn't want to talk about it. There was some that had it, had experienced it having an effect on their life, and just never got to a point or level where they wanted or were willing to share the information about it. So it was something that I'd never, you know, had any conversation at all about. That has to change. And it, you know, it starts with me. I can't, you know, change anything that led up to my pre-diagnosis experience, but I can change going forward how my sons, each of my sons, pre-diagnosed, if God willing, they never have, but if they do have a diagnosis situation in their lifetime, they will have some basis by which they can kind of bounce that off of. So I feel like I'm obligated to do at least that amount. And as I think we all are, there's a certain obligation we have, especially as Black men, with something that we can prevent. It's 98, I think they say 95, somewhere 95 to 99% success rate, survival rate. That's 98%. However, that depends on early detection and making a move on it. It's something that we can beat. It does not have to be a defining moment or death sentence. As I thought about it in that moment, that doctor might as well have just been saying, "You're out of here." But it does not have to be that. And if I can help someone realize that before they go into that office, it can really change the whole projection of their outlook on their post-diagnosis life. I mean, just knowing that there are options, there are second opinions, there are different people you can talk to, there are resources, and we'll try to cover a lot of that throughout this channel. I mean, there's resources, there's funding available, there's research, and there's people you can talk to, and there's support groups, there's therapists, Mental health is going to be something that we touch on quite a bit. That's been a large part of my journey. Is getting into therapy, and I was actually already doing it prior to this, but I doubled up on it post diagnosis. So that'll be something that we discuss as well. So again, not to hold you too long today, but just wanted to stop by, say hello, tell you again how much God loves you, and I do too. And let's just keep this thing going. Let's keep sharing. If you guys could, just make sure you like, share this if you're so inclined. And by all means, if you can subscribe to my channel, that would do me a huge favor and would be a huge compliment as well. So again, not that I'm out for any accolades or any money from this. I'm simply trying to get the word out, do my part, fulfill my obligation, first to myself, to God, and definitely to people like my three sons. I owe them that much, and I owe you that much. So everybody enjoy the rest of your day. It was great talking to you, and I look forward to talking to you the next time. Peace.